So the police had the gun in my mouth, and I had no reason to believe that they weren't going to pull that trigger. And thankfully, my son walked through that door and said, "Don't you dare shoot my
All I
dad."
have in this world is my laws, my word, and I don't break them for other people to exploit.
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And so after TJ done the videos on me, and I told my story about how the cops threw the firearm on me and my son walked in, and I believe he saved my life. So a lot of people had said to me through the comments that they wanted to hear the full story to that. And so that's what we're going to be going into today. So, in order to kind of understand what happened, we need to go back the night before. And so I have told this story, but probably not to this level, just because of the court proceedings and what happened in court and whatnot. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I was asleep on my couch, and there was a knock at my front door, and so it ended up being one of my brother's friends, and so he had quickly raced to get me because there was a fight earlier on at the pub, and my brother had well, it was alleged that my brother had hit this guy, and so my brother had left with his girlfriend and had nearly made it all the way home, and so was approached by this same fella from the pub and a group of his friends, and so they have started to attack my brother, and my brother's friend has seen this and come to get me. And at the start, I kind of lost it at my brother's mate for not sticking around to help my brother, but was thankful that he come and got me. And so when I got there, like right when I got there, so my brother's mate was on a Harley, and he rocked up with a spare helmet and everything, and I didn't even put that helmet on. I just wrapped it around my arm like this, and when I rocked up, I seen my brother get hit in the head with a baseball bat and get knocked out. And so I've just gone from 0 to 100 straight away, and so I've got to be very careful for what I say here, but what I will say is that I helped my brother, and I legitimately saved my brother's life. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that happened there in between, but and there was a lot of witnesses, and some of them witnesses were actually friends of mine and my brothers, and they decided to go against me and my brother. So, but anyway, so it was a bit of a hectic scene, and it happened at the car wash in Benalla, and yeah, it was a hectic scene, and so I managed to get my brother to safety, and we got away, but it wasn't before we seen the police come, and we managed to get away without getting arrested that night, and so you know, this was something very serious happened, and someone got seriously hurt, and bones were broken. It's alleged, and so the cops were after the people that done this, and so the people were alleging that it was me that done this, and so it was hard for my brother to be able to do anything as he was on the ground and incapacitated. But you know, um, so the next day, we kind of just pretended like nothing had happened, and obviously something had happened. And if I said that I went to bed that night, and I'm going to say that I believe that it was all over. Now, we heard that day that this guy that came back with the carload of people might have been from a bike club and wasn't wanting to take any action against me and my brother. And so, we kind of thought that this had all gone and it was all over. And so, fast forward to that night, I'm laying in bed with my partner, and I have all my children are at home, and so I'm asleep, and I get woken up by my partner, and she's like, Biff, Biff, there's someone in the house. There's someone in the house, and I'm like, what? And then so I'm listening, and I can hear footsteps in my house, and so at the end of my bed was a set of golf clubs. And all I'll say is that I had a weapon in there in that set of golf clubs. And so I thought my house was getting ran through and not by police. I thought it was like people coming to get me or whatever. And so, I've gone to get my weapon. And just as I'm on the edge of my bed and I've got my hands almost in that golf club set, my bedroom door comes flying off the hinges and hits the back wall. And so I'm looking straight at this by now. And then next thing you know, all these cops just come rushing into my room and they get me and they throw me up against the wall and they're all into me. Like they are kicking the absolute shit out of me. And it's just something that when you're in that life, and especially like I do not give a shit. Like if you're putting your hands on me, I am putting my hands on you back. And it's as simple as that. And I always had that, especially with police. Like if you just want to come at me with a fight, well, you can expect one back. And so, there's a struggle going on. And at this stage, there was like uniformed police taking my partner out of the bedroom, and then what was left in the bedroom was all detectives. And so at this stage, like I had police officers holding me down and I couldn't move at all. And so they started like just like berating me and trying to tell me like, look how tough you are on the ground, rah rah. And me, I'm saying like, what are you talking about? There's like 5 or 6 years here, like manhandling me, and what, because I can't beat up four of yous, like. And so anyway, that was the context of the conversation, but it was a lot more colourful than that. And then next thing you know, like, remember I said I'm being held here, right? And then next thing you know, one of the police officers produces a firearm, right? But didn't produce it from a holster, produced it from inside a bag. And I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And then next thing you know, they grab it out, they've got their gloves on, and they said catch. And then as soon as they said catch, the detectives let me go. And I guess they expected me to grab that. And like, mate, I've been around and I know what goes on. And so there isn't anything alive. There isn't one reason why I should grab that gun. And I would never in a million years. And so, you know, it literally bounced off my chest. And so, like, my instant reaction was to, like, I moved forward to kind of like bounce it away from me. But they thought that I was going for that. And then, oh, mate, it was full on. And then next thing you know, because remember I said that my bedroom door got kicked off. And so the very next bedroom door was my children's bedroom door. And so, well, one of the children's bedroom. And so two of my sons were asleep in that bedroom. And next thing you know, my son comes barreling through that room. And so right at this time, when my son comes barreling in that room, they've got a gun in my mouth and they're telling me they're going to blow me to kingdom come, right? And so I had absolutely no reason to not believe that they would do this. Now, especially the police station that they were from, and there has been, especially one case where a police officer, was suspended from duty because two people lost their lives, and it's still an ongoing cold case, I believe. And so, and the detectives in that area had a very, very bad name for being corrupt. So I had absolutely no reason to believe that these police officers weren't going to try and take my life right then and there. And thankfully, my fucking son came in and his exact words were, "Don't you kill my dad. Don't you dare kill my dad." And my poor son, like, as a father, for my son to have to see that is absolutely fucking brutal. And I hated it. And thankfully, I believe that that is what saved my life right then and there, because I actually think that they were in the midst of. Now, I'm not saying that they were going to shoot me while the gun that was in my mouth, but I definitely believe that that's why they threw that gun on me. So I would grab it, then my fingerprints would be on it, and then I would have a gun in my hand, and then I'm in a room with five officers with guns in their hands. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So what ended up happening was I ended up getting arrested, but not before they kicked the shit out of me some more. And me and my brother were actually charged, and I was put on the worst bail conditions I have ever been on. So I had to sign in 7 days a week and two times a day, and I was on a 6 o'clock p.m. curfew until 9 a.m. curfew. So from at 6 o'clock at night, I was not allowed to leave my residence until 9 o'clock in the morning, and those police 100% would come and search to see whether I was there every single time. So the reason I said that I won't say exactly what happened is because I will tell you what happened here. So me and my brother were both remanded, and we were both applied for bail. And so my brother got bail first, and then I got bail, and that's when we were put on, the most strenuous bail conditions I have ever been on. And part of them were that me and my brother were not allowed to be within 3 kilometers from each other. So basically, we weren't even allowed to live in the same town. And you can make sure that they always made sure that myself and my brother were not hanging around together. So anyway, we both got committed to stand trial. And so well, actually, this was so it got booked in for a committal hearing after the committal mention. And so at our committal hearing, we had every single witness that said that they seen me alleged to have done what I'd done to this guy. And so, also, this person said in their statements that they brought a baseball bat to the party, and all other witness statements said that all I had was a motorbike helmet. And so anyway, so basically what happened on that day is every single witness that they had against me and my brother stood up and said that they have no recollection of what happened that night, and every single person. And so there was a truck driver that was stopping traffic, and even that person was the last person in there, and they said even that they had no recollection of what happened that night. So basically, what the charges were, I was actually charged with attempted murder and intentionally caused serious injury, um, um, assault with a weapon. And so if I had have went down on that, I would have been looking at double figures, definitely, especially with my priors. But because every single witness said that they had no recollection of what happened that night, now obviously the police and the judge and everyone had thought that me and my brother had got access to these people, but there was no evidence to that, and we absolutely didn't. That's against the law, and we wouldn't do that. And so, yeah, we walked out of court that day, and yeah, like I said, they were one of the worst bail conditions we had ever been on. But 100%, I believe that my son saved my life that night, and and even if they weren't going to take my life, like, I believe I would have got definitely like shot 100%. And especially with my priors, I've got plenty of firearm priors, and Like I said, I had no reason to believe that these police wouldn't do that. And most of these police officers aren't even police officers anymore, but a few of them are. And yeah, just pieces of shit. And so yeah, a lot of people wanted to know the whole story behind that. So that's the whole story right there. And yeah, if you guys haven't already subscribed and you're loving my content, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription, and if you smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. But as always, guys, but also, guys, I never, ever, ever condone the use of violence, even though I never said what happened there. All I said was I saved my brother's life. But yeah, I was charged with attempted murder. So yeah, I never, ever, ever condone the use of violence, and this is absolutely for educational purposes only. And yeah, once again, guys, if you haven't already subscribed, jump down there, shoot me a subscription, and if you smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. I have been the Chaos Chronicles. You guys have been absolutely awesome, and as always, again, don't do drugs and crime and you won't end up in prison.